Hey guys, what's up? I hope you're all doing well and you're as excited as I am for tonight's Corporal Beast 200 subscriber milestone event. I thought I would just update you all on gear and setups for tonight, as well as a few things about my trip to Melbourne. Firstly, it was an awesome trip. I saw all the famous tennis players that are playing at the moment in the Australian Open, as well as a bunch of matches. So that included, Novak Djokovic, Roger Federer, Bernard Tomic, yeah, all those guys, and heaps more. And I went around and did a bunch of other touristy things. So overall, it was a really fun trip, and it was really cool to visit Melbourne. So on to setups for Corporal Beast. Basically, from what I've seen in a few guides and actually checking out Corporal Beast for myself and watching other people do it, I think melee or range setups are the most effective at the moment, with the melee setup probably most effective overall. However, I will show you a range setup as well. So if you're coming along and planning to melee corp, I would recommend bringing Void melee, Bandos, Torva, any Barrows armor or full Guthans. A Zamorakian spear or Guthan's spear would be the best weapon, depending on what armor you bring. As from what I've seen so far, full Guthans is actually pretty effective against corp, especially with its healing armor ability. So as you can see here, I've got full Guthans, I've got Fury, my Cull Cape and everything, and this would be a decent sort of a setup with the Guthan's War Spear, or you could change it up for full Void melee and change that with a Zami Spear, and that would be also really good as well. Or you could change this for like Bandos, and you could have whatever Barrows helm with that. But yeah, any melee setups like that, just all depends on your budget and stuff and what you're willing to risk as well. That's pretty much it for ranging. Oh yeah, also put a full list of equipment in the description as well. For ranging, I recommend any ranged armor. I'll just go into my bank and check it out. Yeah, so any ranged armor really, Void, Armadale, Royal D-Hide, Carols, any of that stuff, with whatever crossbow you can bring. A shield and a chaotic crossbow might be a good option, but it's really up to you. I recommend using a melee setup if you can, but otherwise ranging should be good. Oh yeah, and for ammo, I would definitely use Royal Bolts. I know Emerald Bolts E don't work to stun the core anymore, and I'm not sure how effective Ruby Bolts E are, so it's really up to you, but I would bring Royal Bolts. They should do the trick if you're stuck for choice. Otherwise, feel free to bring like Ruby Bolts and stuff and test them out. I haven't really looked into how effective they are, which I probably should at some stage. But yeah, so Void or Carols, that should be absolutely fine. As for abilities, I'll just get out mine, because I can have the armor and stuff in the description, but I'll just show you my abilities. So the ones I currently have here should be fine. This is for meleeing, obviously. You can change them up as much as you want, but as long as you're just using as many basic abilities as possible, then using your adrenaline on thresholds and ultimates, you'll be absolutely fine, and we should hopefully be able to kill corp. So that's melee abilities. I'll unlock that just so I can go through and name them. Slice, Punish, Smash, Backhand, Sever, Dismember, Assault, Slaughter, Berserk. Yeah, and just I've got a few of these added on from other stuff. So if you have any of those abilities, you should be absolutely fine. There's a lot of basic abilities for melee, so you can be pretty much using one for each attack you do. So it's pretty good. As for ranging, if I change to my range abilities, any of these abilities is good. Piercing Shot, Ricochet, Fragmentation Shot, Binding Shot, Snapshot, Rapid Fire, Incendiary Shot. All of those is really good. But yeah, just try and get as many basic abilities as you can. I think this is still here from when I've been doing next. But all these abilities should be absolutely fine, and you should do pretty well with them. You can bring Dreadnips as well. I'm just gonna check how many I've got in my bank. I think I've got like barely any. Where would it be in here? Yeah, I got 5 Dreadnips at the moment. They're really good for bossing these days, so I'll try and get a bunch of them before the event. As for prayers, I recommend Soul Split if you have it, or Protect Mage or Melee. Corporal Beast is actually a very dangerous boss, and it's stronger in my opinion now, rather than prior to the evolution of combat, and can deal some pretty brutal combos, but we'll hopefully have strength in numbers and be able to survive. In terms of strategy, when you enter the boss room, just put on your prayers and make sure you're potted up and keep an eye on your life points. You should be absolutely fine. Just remember not to stand underneath Corporal Beast, otherwise it can deal a lot of damage with its stomp attack. And if you see the Dark Core, make sure you're at least 2 spaces away from it, so it doesn't do damage to you. Keep moving away from it if it keeps following you, because that can happen a fair bit. One strategy that I have seen some other groups using is they have a designated tanker, and that person uses the provoke ability and other defensive abilities and brings as much defensive equipment as possible to tank most of the Corporal Beast hits. And in the meantime, everyone else just attacks Corp and takes minimal damage, if any. So I'll start off by bringing tanking gear, and I'll tank until someone else wants to and has the right equipment to. As from what I've seen, it saves everyone else a lot of food and makes the kills faster. So feel free to trade anyone tanking food as well as myself. If they're low on food, as they're going to be, that's going to lead to better kills, and it's going to make the event a lot easier. I think it'll probably be a good idea to have a tank. We'll just have to wait and see how many people come and stuff. Anyway, so for tanking, I'm not really sure what gear I'll bring. I think I'll probably bring Ganodermic and some like high mage / melee defensive gear, and maybe like a rapier or something. But I'll look into that, and people who want to tank and stuff can check out my gear then, or bring their own tanking gear if they already know what to bring at the time. I haven't even talked about inventory setup yet. For inventory, you should actually, I'll just get out what you could bring. I'm just going to bank the stuff in my inventory right now, and basically what you can do is you can bring a super set. You could bring an extreme set, or you could bring like an overload flask or something. I don't have any overload flasks at the moment. I need to decant some of those. So I could bring, I'll just bring this 5-dose overload. I could bring that, as well as a prayer renewal flask, and then I'd probably bring my super stores. That could be super store flasks, super prayer flasks, normal regular prayer flasks. All that should be absolutely fine, and obviously you can change out this overload for regular super sets, extreme sets, or whatever you want. That should be absolutely fine. And then what else should you bring? You should probably also bring a games necklace, preferably a fully charged one, as well as a one-click teleport tab. I personally like my teleport to house in case I die as I teleport. That way I don't have to worry about my grave or anything. I just die in my house. And then everything else you bring should just be food. So sharks or rocktails or whatever other food that heals you enough. Your inventory will probably change, depending on how many people come along. But yeah, sharks and or rocktails, they're a pretty good alternative, to Saradome and Bruise, which is what people used to use at Corporal Beast prior to the evolution of combat. Obviously, rocktails or sharks are definitely a lot better to use there than Saradome and Bruise now, because Saradome and Bruise heal very slowly, and you'll pretty much just be standing there drinking Saradome and Bruise. It just depends how the kills go and stuff, but yeah, I definitely recommend rocktails or sharks. I think that's most of it. The last thing to do with Corp I wanted to quickly say was deaths. If you die, gravestones will not appear within the boss room, and your lost items will become visible to other players after 3.5 minutes. That's according to RS Wiki, so it's all on them if that's not the case, but I'm fairly sure they'll have that pretty accurate. So if you die, don't panic. Just either choose to protect your games necklace, or get one from your bank quickly after you've died and teleport back to Corp. And bring some food with you as well, and maybe just a bit of armor so that you can have a fairly high life points. Maybe just grab full rune out of your bank, have that ready in case you die. Put that on, grab some rocktails, teleport there, and you should be able to get back within a minute if all goes well. I really hope no one loses anything tonight, but just keep that in mind. Death is a big possibility around Corporal Beast. And I really hope people are, honest and stuff. And if someone does die, the worst possible situation happens, someone disconnects or something, their stuff's on the ground, people might pick that up, but just make sure you just try and give that back to the person. Hopefully people do that, but that's just a really worst case scenario, and that can happen anywhere. So I really hope that doesn't happen. Anyway, I think that's everything. I bought the Gold Premier Club RuneScape membership package thing because I needed more membership, and it would obviously save me money, which now means I have around 2k rune coins, as well as that, because that's part of the package, as you can see there, 2026 rune coins, which I think is usually worth around $50. I'm not sure what the best thing might be so far, for me to spend on in Solomon's store, but at the moment I could buy all 5 bank boosters, and as a result get another 250 bank slots, which I'm fairly keen to do at the moment. But if you knew anything that's more worthwhile, or maybe getting released in the near future, feel free to tell me in the comments, because I would prefer not to waste them, even though Solomon's is really crap in my opinion. that's it for this video. I'm really looking forward to the event tonight, guys. Really hope you can come along. It should be absolutely awesome. Never know, might get a split. I really hope we do get a split, because that would make the trip so much more epic. But yeah, that's pretty much it. And I will see you there tonight. Bye.